identify themselves for the role. I'm Charles Kemper. I'm taking years. Charles Kemper, the chairman of the Boonslick Regional Planning Commission Board, representing the city of Troy. Who are you, sir?
I'm Steve Etcher, the director.
Oh, okay.
Boonslick Regional Planning.
Charlie Corman, currently the presiding commissioner in Montgomery County.
Andy Teschendorf, mayor of Moscow Mills.
Murray Brewer, mayor of Truesdale.
Sean O'Brien, currently presiding commissioner of Lincoln Township.
Jim Mays, Lincoln County Commission.
Hubert Gleason, Warren County Commission.
Okay. Would you gentlemen like to identify yourself?
Sure, I'm Charles Smith, a resident of Troy, Missouri.
Right.
Jonathan Hahn, a resident of Lincoln County, Missouri.
Okay. Thank you for being here. We do have a quorum present. We have most of the executive committee here. New schedule here. Normally what we do at this time is turn it over to Steve, who tells us what to do.
Okay. The first item on our agenda for discussions today is to address the request that has been forwarded to us by Pike County, seeking to join the Boonslick region. What I have for you there is a copy of the request from the county, along with a resolution from the county, and attached to that also is a letter from the city administrator of Bowling Green clarifying the positions of, actually I threw all my copies away, right? Yep. We're good. All right. Clarifying the position of the county, of the cities within Pike County, because there was some confusion. I'll talk about that in just a second. And then the last page is a list of those entities that are currently within Pike County. As you're aware, they were at our last full commission meeting, inquiring about the process for realignment within the state of Missouri, what will procedures be, what do we expect from them as a county and the cities. Hey Jane, if you want to just set it up in here, when we get it set up, we'll just throw the curtain up. So here's a copy of their request. Since our last meeting, I have talked with the county and talked with the county clerk. I actually went over on October 15th and met with the Pike County's mayor's meeting, which was in Clarksville. That meeting actually was a little bit unusual. In that the left hand and right hand really weren't on the same page as far as who was coming. Mark Twain was there and their staff was at that same meeting. The cities were kind of kept out of the loop in terms of Pike County's request to realign. Basically, the outcome of that meeting was the cities really need to go talk to the county, get on the same page, and then let us know what that is. If the counties and the cities at that point think that they're better off where they're at, that's fine. No harm, no foul, no issue here with us whatsoever. If the cities are then in agreement with the county that they want to seek a realignment, then I wanted them to notify me. So I had something that said, yes, we met, we talked, and we're all on the same page, and that's what that letter is. So, I have, at the last meeting, fees that opened up and said if anybody has any thoughts or comments to let us know. I did have a call from the city of Warrenton saying that they would be opposed to it because they felt we had too much on our plate. And that was conveyed by Michelle from the city, which had a discussion at their city council meeting. Other than that, I fielded a few questions, but had no comments, positively or negatively. But really, I think what the board here needs to decide today is, okay, what do you want to do? You are the core leadership. You would need to figure out what it is you guys want to do, and then we would need to figure out what our process will be as we go through with this approval process. Does this board want to make the decision unilaterally? Do you want to make the recommendation to the full council? How is it you want to move forward with this topic? So with that, I'll throw it open for discussion.
All right. I'm carrying news from the other commissioners. They're highly concerned. We get along well with Pike County, but they're highly concerned is what's in it for us. Is this going to water down Boonslick? You know, we're concerned. We also know that the commissioners over there like to micromanage everything and was worried about that type of input here.
what Charlie said. Their comment to you from Warrenton that you had too much on the table or Boonslick did. What was your response to that? How did you feel about it?
I didn't give a response. I was really just fielding. I've got a little question with that. One, I'm not sure the city really knows what we have on our plate in its entirety. I mean, we do have 20 staff. We've got a lot of things going. We've got a lot of irons in the fire. I think what they're seeing is really just the tip of the iceberg. Much of what happens within the organization, the programs we deliver, are a lot of stuff behind the scenes that they don't know how full our place up. They don't know what staff's levels of work activity is. You know, as I read into that, are they saying they're not being serviced adequately? They may be saying that, which, you know, Fees and I have had meetings with them in the past. I believe they're serviced well. They have a liaison. We've got numerous projects with them. Nothing is delinquent, tardy, or even delayed. So I'm really not sure what they were trying to say with that whole message. But
They may be trying to say the same thing in Montgomery County is, you know, that if we take this on,
will it stretch too thin?
yeah, will it water it down? Right now, we get good attention, we get good service, and will that continue?
And that's a great question. If my crystal ball was a little clearer, I could tell you what 5 years from now is going to look like, or even 10 years from now. But I can't. I can only project where we're at now. Would we have staff capacity to bring in additional county in charge? I mean, that's, you know, I've made a list of pros and cons. What we were talking about is probably another a little over 10,000 or 10,000 more coming in dues. Is what we have from Pike County and their communities. That doesn't fund really any additional staff capacity, marginal, but that would be about it. We're dealing with a county similar in size to what we're dealing with, a city similar in size, what we're dealing with, same types of problems. And I think one of the challenges we're going to run into is they're all going to have infrastructure needs that are equal to what our communities have. And attacking those infrastructure demands isn't so much a lack of staff resources, it's a lack of financing resources. If there was grants out there that we could just write the application, get the money, we make the improvements, we could address everybody's needs. The problem are that there's a limited amount of resources. So staff will put an application together, maybe put 5 applications together, and only 1 or 2 of those get funded. So I don't know that it would stretch us beyond a breaking point. I think there would be a period of adjustment if we took it on. Because they would require a lot of hand-holding up front to get to know who we are, what our services and programs are. But then I think we would be able to deal with them just like we deal with the other 26 cities that we deal with and the other 3 counties that we deal with. And you kind of deal with things en masse and you individualize things where necessary. I think the response would be, yeah, it's going to stretch us initially, but I don't think it's going to stretch us to the point where we break. The other hand is like, what is the benefit of taking them on? What does it do for the organization? Not what does it do negatively, but what does it do positively for the organization? And I've looked at several different things that may be positive, may be negatives, depending on your point of view on this. If we took on Pike County, a couple of the positives from a financial standpoint to the organization is, you know, obviously have an increased population base. I think at some point in the state of Missouri, they're going to wake up and say, we have 27 different definitions of regions in the state of Missouri. You know, we've got 19 RPC, we've got 10 ODOT districts, 6 highway patrol districts. At some point, I believe the state will say, we need to be more efficient in our land